Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, and welcome wherever you are listening. Welcome. Yes, so I thought it'd be good to check in with all of you and to discuss again some of the developments that we are seeing. And yes, we are now witnessing the President of the United States saying that they will remove the people that have called that place home for hundreds up to maybe thousands of years. Some of those people that have lived in that region have called that land home. It is their ancestral home. What we are now hearing is that they will be moved to other places like Japan, and that if they go back, it's a headache. This is what the President of the United States is saying. It's pretty much going to be a headache, and that the same thing will happen again. So what are we seeing? What are we witnessing here? Well, we are seeing an ethnic cleansing that is taking place. That is what we're seeing. And it is being done under the guise to say that they are going to develop the land into different properties by the sea. That again will be profitable for them. Where is the consideration? I mean, are you amazed as I am? And again, some of you may be wondering, what are we really looking at? What are we seeing here? What is taking place? Well, first I want to say that we, as Yasharal, have no side to pick in what we are seeing. We take no sides. What we are witnessing is the judgment of the heathen. Yes, that is what we are seeing. We are seeing where the people on both sides that have inflicted pain on Yasharal have done wrong to Yasharal, have done all types of wickedness and evil to Yasharal, are now being judged. They are turning on each other. That is what we are seeing. Because, the people that are there, that were brought there in the 1940s, they are saying that that is their home, even though there is no confirmation of that. And to their own information that they bring out, they say that they are from Europe. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. The people that they went there and encountered, they're now being told that they gotta leave. And I bet you if they are to stay there, they can't own really nothing because, again, the president of the United States is saying that he's going to take the land and he's going to develop it. So is he saying that they're going to be renters now on their own land if they stay there, or that, they can't stay there at all? What's really going on? What is going on that a person would think that that is the right thing to do, and others wanting to support it? This is not the only development that's happened over the last few days. There's been developments with, U.S. aid. There have been developments with the Department of Education, with other federal jobs and departments that are being impacted. And I did talk about this in one of my previous videos called America is Broke, which it is. And that is why all of those departments are either being shut down, they're being reviewed, they're being restructured, the people that are there are being let go. That's what we're seeing. But this in particular, what we are seeing is something different. What we are seeing again is the judgment of the heathen. They need to be judged. They need to be judged. Okay? That is what we are witnessing here. Okay? I'm going to read Ezekiel chapter 25. I am going to read verse 12 to 14. And this is the King James Version that I'll be reading. So it says, "Thus saith Yahuwah, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore thus saith Yahuwah, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom, by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahuwah." Where are all the wise men in Edom? What happened to all the wise men of Edom? What happened to them? Because if there were wise men of Edom, do you think they would do what they're doing right now? Do you think we would see what is happening right now among the heathen? Something must be going on. Because why would the President of the United States say he's just going to take land and he's just going to develop it and he's going to ship the people that have called that place their home for centuries, he's just going to ship them around the earth to different countries and no one can say anything about it. I am also going to read Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah 49. I'm going to read verse 20. It says, "Therefore hear the counsel of Yahuwah that he hath taken against Edom, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them." Malachi 1 verse 2 to 4. "I have loved you, saith Yahuwah. Yet ye say, Wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith Yahuwah. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahuwah hath indignation forever." That is Malachi chapter 1, 2 to 4. So what it's saying here is Edom is going to build, and the Most High is going to throw down. So all of these plans that Edom has of going into a place where the people have conspired with them against Yahuwah's inheritance, against Yasharal. They have conspired against us, Psalm 83. And they have made agreements with them. Now, Edom is turning on them and saying, there's not going to be no two-state solution. We're just going to get you up out of here, and we're going to develop the land. That's what's happening, right? But are you surprised that Edom has broken an agreement? I mean, isn't that what we have seen and experienced our whole lives? Isn't this what we have learned? That when agreements have been made, they come back and they break agreements. They tell you one thing, but then the other happens, or the opposite happens. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised at all. That's what we're seeing. Right? Lead them down a direction and say, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. Don't worry. We understand this is your ancestral land. Yes, you've made agreements with us in the past. We have made agreements together of what we are going to do. And, we already know who the Most High's children are. And listen, now it's time for us to move. We're not going to be moving with you. In fact, we want you to move up out of here so we can do what we really intended to do from the beginning, which is to, get you guys off this land and we can develop it and do what we want to do with it and make more money. Right? I mean, why have integrity? Why keep your word? Why respect you if I can make all this money? So Esau now is being used to judge. People that conspired with them against the Most High and his people. Psalm 83. Who conspired with Edom? Psalm 83, verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarites, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have holpened the children of Lot. Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kishon, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. This is talking about those that conspired with Edom against Yasharal. And there's a lot of peoples mentioned that I see involved in this whole situation. Edom, Ishmaelites, Amalek. They all conspired together against the Most High's people, and now they are turning on each other. They're turning on each other. And again, we don't have any involvement in this, and we shouldn't. This is the word of the Most High coming to pass. That is what we are seeing. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahuwah. What we're going to see, though, is we're going to see all of these peoples and these nations that have conspired with Esau, with Edom. They are going to turn on Esau. They're going to turn on Edom. Verse 5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Verse 6 and 7. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Verse 8. Shall I not in that day, saith Yahuwah, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? Verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Now, some of you may be asking, well, what did Edom do? What did Esau do? What happened? What happened that the Most High would hate Esau and all of his descendants? What could he have done? Well, verse 11 and 12 gives us an idea of what happened. It says, in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them. But thou shouldst not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldst thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldst thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. And I also will say that if you do read the rest of Obadiah chapter 1, it goes into detail how Esau was not there for his brother Jacob, that Esau watched his brother pretty much get robbed and beat up, and his men servants killed. So Esau was able to stand aside and watch this. He was also able to stand aside and see Judah get ransacked, and he did nothing. So the descendants of Esau did nothing. So this is a perpetual hatred that Esau has for the children of Jacob. It's perpetual. And there is no love that he has for Jacob. And I kind of wanted to go over those scriptures to frame some of the things that I am going to be saying, because people, again, may not understand what they are seeing. Why would the president of the United States stand up and make a declaration that you're going to be shipping people off of their land that they've known, that's all they've known, to Japan? What do they know about Japan? What do they know about Japan? And that once they are shipped off and off of the land and they are not coming back, that he and his investor friends who have a lot of money, as he said, are going to be developing that land. Right? There is absolutely, as I said, there's no consideration. There is no thought past what his desires are, what he wants to achieve. But again, are we surprised? I mean, what has been done to us as Black people, as Yasharel, for over 400 years? And those that have conspired with Edom to keep this treatment of us going, to justify it, to say that there's nothing to see here, I don't see a problem here, because they made agreements with Edom. But now that it's being turned on them, now that they are experiencing what we experienced, because Edom, of course, has to turn on everyone around them, they are now shocked. Well, why are you shocked? They've been doing this to us for so long. They have been treating us this way for so long, flooding our towns, redlining. When you explain to them what they're doing, they tell you they don't know what you're talking about, right? And it's not just Edom that's saying that. It is Amalek. It is Ishmaelites, right? It's Moabites, Philistines. All of the people that conspired with Edom, when we would say to them, you know, what you're doing is unfair. You made agreements with us. You made promises. You said you were going to do things. You said you weren't going to do certain things. And now we are here. And you're going against what you said you would never do. You just came out of left field with this. This is not what we had discussed this whole time, of what we understood the agreement to be, of what we were working toward. Where is this coming from? Well, it's coming from they want to make money and you're in their way. And haven't we, as Yasharel, experienced that for over 400 years? Haven't we experienced that? We experienced that for so long. And when we talk about it, we're being told that, again, they don't know what we're talking about. When we put our house up for sale and somehow we get lowballed because they know that the home is owned by Yasharel. But if the same home is put up for sale by Edom, or one that has made agreements and conspired with Edom, they get a higher market price. When we go to our job and we go to work in our job and we bring up concerns, the way that we're being treated, the unfairness. They have you as the Black employee working, training employees that come in, and somehow those employees end up going up the ranks into other departments, into other positions, higher paying positions. And then you as the Black employee, you say, well, I've trained like, over 10 employees. I would like a promotion. This is where I want to go in the company. But yet they have an excuse for why you can't move up in the company and that you still need to master your role. Right? Last to get hired, first to get fired. And they'll find all different type of things, right? To pull you into the office, the meeting room, to talk to you about a whole bunch of nonsense that doesn't make any sense. They will find every and anything possible to try to find a way to push you out, because now you're asking for a promotion. And how dare you train all these people and now you want a promotion? How dare you go to the bank and think you can actually get a loan? How dare you? How dare you think you can put your house on the market and want to get a fair price? How dare you? How dare you slave for 400 years and then you want us to admit what we did was wrong and then give you reparations? How dare you? How dare you want to be treated as a human being? But now those that have made the agreements, right, with Edom, with Babylon, they're now going to have to pay the price. But we've been saying it for so long. We've been saying this for so long that this is how they treated us. This is how they are. And we have been just swept to the side and being told that what we're saying doesn't make no sense. What we're saying is our problem, and they can't do nothing about it. So what we're going to be seeing is we are going to be seeing a lot of these peoples and nations that have made agreements with Edom, with Babylon, the head of Babylon. Okay? They're going to start turning on these groups and on these nations, on these peoples. They're going to start turning on them. They will use whoever they're going to use. Right now, they want to use the Japanese. They'll turn on them as well. They're going to use everyone that they can possibly use, because right now what you're seeing is a country, you are seeing a government, and you're seeing a president trying to fight for their existence. Because they already know that they're going down. They know, hey, this is the last fight. If we don't do this, we won't survive. And the president actually said that. He actually said that. He said if he was not elected, he didn't think that the U.S., the United States, would still exist. He said that in one of his first interviews after being elected. he made that statement. So they're going to fight. And hey, if you are a friend of them, or a friend of theirs, a friend of the United States, a friend of Babylon, which is the United States is the head of Babylon now in our modern times, if they know that they can betray you, that they can turn on you and it will benefit them, they're going to do it. Yes. The United States is now talking about tariffs on European countries, because, hey, they are broke and they need to collect money any way possible. And if it's going to be an indirect tax on the American people, like a tariff, they're going to do it. They're going to shut down different departments or certain different departments, different branches of government. They're going to let go a lot of people. They're going to go around the world and say, we're taking Greenland, we're taking Canada, we're taking the Panama Canal, now we're going to take Gaza. Because again, we're broke. We need to find money somewhere. We already are getting in the pockets of the American people. Now let's do it externally. The External Revenue Agency. Let's do that now because we're fighting. We are fighting. We need to fight. We need to keep or stay relevant. We need to do this. And they are going to fight. You're going to see them fight. That's what the scripture says. They are going to fight. They're going to continue fighting. They're going to fight the Most High. They're going to go down fighting the Most High. Ezekiel 32 verse 29. There is Edom, her kings, and all her princes, which with their might are laid by them that were slain by the sword. They shall lie with the uncircumcised, and with them that go down to the pit. They are going to fight and fight and fight. They're going to turn inward because it's about them. Now, there are some countries, there are some people that are still thinking that, hey, if we just work with them, if we, bend the knee, we'll be okay. But that's not going to help those nations because they're under judgment. And Esau, Edom, Babylon, who is being now led by Edom, is going to turn on all of them. But what's going to happen in the end? Everyone's going to be turning on Babylon. And who's heading Babylon? Esau. They're going to all now turn on Edom, on Esau. That's what's going to happen. They're going to turn on them and bring them to waste. That's what's going to happen. And we are witnessing the setup for all that to happen. That's what we're seeing. We are seeing the setup for the destruction of Babylon and the bringing down of Edom. Obadiah chapter 1. gives you the details of how this will happen. And they will not escape. They're not going to escape. The more that they go through this whole, like everything that they're doing, going around saying they're taking land, they're going to do this, no one can say anything to them. Everyone needs to just say okay and just cooperate with them. The more we are seeing this is the more judgment that is coming upon them. Again, I'm going to say that Edom is being used to judge the other heathens that conspired against Yasharel to destroy Yasharel. So the Most High is just using Edom to give judgment to these people. But once that is in motion, the Most High will judge Esau, the descendants of Esau, and bring them all the way down. Obadiah 1 verse 9 again, and thy mighty men of Teman shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. That's what we're seeing. That is what we are seeing. And I will say that this is a time for us to turn to the Most High and pray. If you need to pray 20 times a day, do it. If you're able to fast, even better. But we need to turn to our Heavenly Father and seek Him for all things. Because we don't know what's going to happen from day to day. And I think I said this earlier in another video, I can hardly keep up. I can hardly keep up with all the news that we are witnessing. I can hardly keep up. There's a lot of things that are happening. But we are seeing the Most High fight for us. We are seeing the Most High do the greatest setup ever. We are seeing it. And they're not going to be able to see how they are being set up. They're not going to be able to see that they have been encircled until it's too late. All praises to the Most High Yahuwah. He is everlasting to everlasting, and He is the author and the finisher of all. They're not going to be able to see it. So, just wanted to talk about that. I wanted to share scripture and words of encouragement to all of you. Again, I am praying for Yasharel every single day. I pray for our protection. To cover each one of you from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, that the Most High will protect you and place His hedge of protection upon you and your home. Thank you so much for joining me, for listening to the end. If you'd like to comment, I welcome all comments, and please like and subscribe. Shalom.